Today I'm going to give you some gift ideas for that handyman or handywoman in your life. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Dierdorf and this is Detroit DIY. We have to start this video with the Sawset Pro Miter Protractor. Sawset has a small line of Miter protractors. It is a small family-owned company. I have had contact with them. They did send me this to try out, and it is something that I have absolutely fallen in love with. It is dead on accurate. It is just an amazing tool. It's very inexpensive, and it will definitely keep you from ripping your hair out if you're doing trim work or you're trying to figure out angles to set your miter saw at. One side of the Sawset Pro has double miters, and the other side of the Sawset Pro has single miters. The nice thing is this is your exact saw setting. So once you get your reading off of this, you take that number right to your saw and you set it. Unlike other angle finders where you have to use the math to figure out what your actual saw setting is from the angle that you get. This is not like that. This is no math required, immediate saw setting. This does have to be used in conjunction with a sliding T Bevel. The sliding T Bevel is extremely user friendly, and what you do is you take the sliding T Bevel, you go up to the outside or the inside corner of your wall and you set the T Bevel to whatever that angle is, and you tighten up the thumb nut or the wing nut or whatever your sliding T Bevel may have, and you set it up here on the Sawset Pro, dependent on the side. If you want the single miter or if you want the double miter, it has a nice little raised stop right here that it sets up against, and a notch out so that you know which way the T Bevel sits up in it, and it will give you that exact reading. Set your saw, cut it, put it on. Man, it is just a nice tool to have, and it'll keep you from tearing your hair out. I'm going to put a link down in the description of this video for every tool that I'm going to show you here today. And like I said, we just can't start this video without talking about the Sawset Pro and how it is a lifesaver for doing trim work, woodwork. It doesn't really matter. Anytime you need to find an angle to set your saw at, it's the Sawset Pro is going to take care of that for you. Next up is a drill driver combo. Now, the thing with buying someone a drill driver combo or any battery powered tools is you want to do a little investigating, see what they have, and see what battery platform they may currently have. Find out if they're happy with that platform, or do they want to switch to a different tool over time. Because if they're already in a Bosch battery platform or a Ryobi battery platform or whatever platform they're in, they may want to continue to grow that tool collection rather than just switch over to a DeWalt. So my batteries and everything that I use is DeWalt. I really like the DeWalt tools, and I couldn't be happier with them. These are both 20 volt brushless, and they're amazing. They're long life tools. The first set DeWalt drill driver combo that I bought, man, 15 years ago or more, were brushed, and they both still work today. However, they are in the old battery platform and not the new lithium battery platforms. So that's the main reason I switched over my drill driver combo, just to move into the lithium battery platform, which I'm really thrilled with. These are the smallest probably of the batteries that they have, and they have really good life for me. These do not have an amp hour rating anywhere on the battery. It's just a 20 volt max lithium ion, and they last really good for me. So the other batteries will work in this drill driver combo, just so long as they're the 20 volt or they're the flex batteries. They'll all work in this combo platform, which is nice. So if they have the DeWalt battery platform or whatever they have, that would be the drill driver combo that you would want to get for them. Or maybe they already have the drill driver combo. In that case, maybe an oscillating multi-tool. This is a very unique tool. It comes in handy a lot. I use this tool a lot, especially for notch outs, hard to reach areas. Its uses are endless, and I really like the DeWalt platform. I've already said that I really like it. It's not a sponsored video, just a tool that I like. And this multi-tool has been become one of my favorites in this platform. The blade is easy on off, and you can get the blades just about anywhere. Some of them can be a little bit pricey, but some of the blades you can find them in different places that aren't so bad. Like for general cutting of drywall and stuff like that, I'll just pick up a package at Harbor Freight. They're cheap. They say they're for cutting nail embedded wood, but it'll tear them right up. But they are good for cutting drywall and softer woods, and I wouldn't hesitate to buy them and use them. You get a decent sized package for a few bucks. So definitely the DeWalt oscillating multi-tool. Next up on our list, maybe geared a little bit more towards woodworking, but I do get these out some when I'm doing repairs in homes, and it is a set of CounterSync bits. CounterSync bits will allow the head to either be flush with the surface of the wood or slightly under it, so that you can put wood putty over the screw head and hide the screw completely. And they also drill the pilot hole for you so that you do not split the ends of the wood. This is a kit that I picked up a little while back. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. It's supposed to be a quick change. It's difficult to get the bit out, and you need an Allen wrench to switch out from one to the other. So it's not really what I thought it was when I bought it. However, I will link one in the description that is less painless than this one is, and that would work out a whole lot better even if it's just individual bits. There's about 4 different sizes. There's one for a number 8 screw, one for a number 10 screw, one for a number 6 screw, and one for a number 12 screw. So it's fairly easy to use them. I have a video on that. If you look through shop tools, tips and tricks, you'll see that video in that playlist, and it'll show you completely how to use these CounterSync bits and how to get the results that you want out of them. But CounterSync bits are definitely a nice tool to have. Next up on the list is the Kreg pocket hole jig. This is more geared towards woodworking. I have used it to build benches in my workshop and stuff like that. It makes a very strong joint for joining 2 pieces of wood together. I really like it. I've used it and used it and used it. As you can tell, it is well used, and it works beautiful. I will attest to the fact that it creates a very strong joint for woodworking and for constructing. I've used it in gates. I've used it in multiple places where I've built stuff that I've needed to join boards together, just because I know that this is a very strong connection. Now mine is a little bit older, so I've had this probably for 10 or 12 years. They last, and I really like it. It's not that huge of an investment, but it sure does give you a nice tool to be able to do some of the things that you want to do. So the Kreg pocket hole jig is one of my tops. This version of the jig, I believe, is still available, but it may not be. It may be slightly more advanced than what this one is. There's a lot of them that are more advanced. Not really that they drill a better pocket hole, just that they're styled differently, and they have some wings on them for support and stuff like that to help support your workpiece better. I've never had a problem with this one as far as that's concerned. I did mount it to this little piece of wood so that I could clamp it down to the workbench for when I put something bigger in here, that I could handle this better and it wouldn't just try to tip on its side while I was working on it. So that's the reason I screwed it to this piece of wood. This is one of my most recent purchases that I absolutely love myself, and it is a DeWalt handheld compact router. It is a DWP 611, or you can get the DWP 611 PK. The kit comes with the Plunge base. I will put both of those kits down in the description with a link to them. And the handheld router is very nice. It fits in your hand so very nicely. It's fairly light. I'm not going to say that it's super light, but it's fairly light. It has a soft start motor, so there's no big jerk when it turns on. It turns on and spins up to speed at a slower pace. It's not just a big jerk for it to get it going. And it accepts 1/4 inch router bits. For a woodworker or a handyman that just likes to putz around in the shop, this is an amazing handheld router. I watched many review videos before I selected this router, and it came out on top in 99% of those videos that I watched. And I like watching the unsponsored videos, kind of like this one. As you can tell, I do like the DeWalt tools, but when it comes to purchasing something that I've never used before, I do like to get into the review videos and see what people are saying. And there was nothing but big praise about this one. So this is new to me. In fact, we'll be doing a video in a few weeks on it. But definitely, this is a nice tool to have in your arsenal. I couldn't do a video like this without talking about bar clamps. Bar clamps are a huge lifesaver, especially if you're doing something by yourself, holding a board overhead, gluing something together. Just the times that I've reached for these bar clamps to hold things in place for me is just, it's countless. They've just been so valuable to me. For 90% of the things that I do, I'm reaching for these bar clamps. And I have multiple links and multiple different ones, but they're just lifesavers. And for a handyman to have a nice little selection of bar clamps to go to, some different lengths, it's just an awesome tool to have by your side. Sometimes when you're screwing two pieces of wood together, even once the screw gets through the first piece of wood, it'll try to push that piece of wood away instead of screw into the other piece of wood. And when that happens, it can cause a misalignment. So if alignment is crucial, you need to make sure that that doesn't happen. One way to do that is obviously drill a pilot hole, but if the pilot hole is not deep enough, the other way to do it is to clamp those two pieces of wood together as you put your screw in so that it can't push away. And second, you know that it pulls it tight. So I have to say, bar clamps are way up there on my list. Next up on my list would be a reciprocating saw. And as you can tell, we're also in the DeWalt lineup with the reciprocating saw. This saw I've had for a long time, and it works beautiful still today. I also have a reciprocating saw in a corded version, and it all just depends on what I'm doing. As you'll notice, the router is corded for various reasons. I'll only use the router in my shop, and I don't really need to have it in a battery platform. The drill driver and the oscillating multi-tool, them are a must in a battery operated scenario because of where I take them, where I use them, and just the fact of how handy it makes it to grab it, use it, not have to worry about a cord. For the router, that's a whole different scenario. Sometimes for the Sawzall, for me, that's a different scenario, and sometimes it isn't. So I use this one just about as much as I use the corded reciprocating saw. However, this is a very handy tool for any handyman to have in their arsenal. Next up on my list is a laser level. This is a Dovoh H3-360G. This is a 360 degree laser level, and it will give you 3 planes. So it'll give you 2 vertical planes and 1 horizontal plane. And there's some different styles so that you can get the horizontal plane on the bottom or on the top. Mine has the horizontal plane on top. which I'm perfectly fine with, because it doesn't matter how close you get to the floor. I can use some measurements and get closer to the floor if I need to. But there are some that have the horizontal on the bottom. If you lock it, you could probably turn it upside down, but unlocked, I don't think you can. I've never tried it. However, when you're doing tile work or any kind of a layout, even hanging pictures, this thing comes in so handy that it's unbelievable. If you want 4 or 5 pictures on your wall to be in a nice straight row, this is the way to do it. It comes with a nice way to attach a tripod to it. It has both sizes down here, and it's a heavy green line, and just has turned out to be my absolute favorite laser level. If you watched my tile video, you saw this thing all over the place in there, helping me get that tile lined up where I wanted it. Also, with the laser level, you get this nice carry case, and then it comes with some other accessories, some batteries, some glasses to help you see the line better, because these types of laser levels are difficult to see the line outside. So there's some stuff here to help you see that line better outside. And then there is a vertical mount for the laser level here that gives you some attachment options. I've used it on the step of my ladder and a few other places to get this the height that I want it, because sometimes I want it up there high. So I've used it on a small board and clamped that board with some bar clamps to the step on my ladder or to the side of my ladder, and then used the micro adjustment on here to get the laser level exactly where I want it. So I was thrilled with this entire package. And last up on this list for this video are levels. I like the Johnson line of levels, and every handyman is going to need a level. These are phenomenal levels. The quality is good from Johnson, and they read very accurately. This is a 2-foot and this is a 4-foot, and also a pocket level or a torpedo level is a very nice level to have as well. I don't know where mine is. It's in my tool bag somewhere, so I'd have to go dig it out. But I also have that one. I have a multitude of other levels, but basically the same length, maybe just a different brand. I have some I-beam levels and so on and so forth. But levels are an amazing tool, and I don't know a handyman that wouldn't need one and wouldn't need a good one. Alright guys, like I say, everything here is down in the description. Feel free to go click on those links. If you enjoyed yourself, click on one of the 2 videos that are going to pop up next to me. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider doing so. And remember to always respect the power of your power tools. We'll see you soon.